you want more views for your YouTube videos, then you need better titles. And how you get better titles without spending hours of doing those? With an AI YouTube title generator. It's a very simple tool. The only thing what you have to do, you describe the video that you want to create. Then you click Generate Titles, and it's automatically generating you 5 titles with using different psychology triggers. You get the titles with different psychology triggers, you have the character count, and you can copy and paste them right away. But that's not the best thing. That I show you how you can create a tool like that with zero coding skills. We will just use plain English. And that means that after you're done, you can customize it 100% to your unique needs. So what we're going to do is first I'm going to show you how to set up the project. Then we are going to get the Gemini LLM key because we're going to need some AI which will help us. Then I will introduce you to PRDs, which are product requirement documents, which are very important if you do some web coding. Then I give you a very short introduction to Claude Code, and then we jump right into the tool. Okay, so let's go. So first, let's set up the project. We're gonna use Next.js. This project. We were going to use Next.js. Why we use Next.js? Because it is very easy to deploy. You can do is we copy this command, which there you can use whatever terminal. In this case, I use iTerm on the Mac. We're gonna copy paste that, and we call our project JT Studio. You can call it whatever, however you want it. If you just like, well, the goal of this video and the following video is actually that we create a studio, not only a title creator. But now we just do a title creator, so you can also call it title creator if you want. So, but we call it YouTube Studio. Then it will ask you some questions. Here you can just go with the default settings. We will not do big magic here. Exactly. Then it's automatically creating you the project, which will be, well, as I said, like a website, but with logic. And soon we will be able to run it locally. So now we can just navigate there. We have here this YouTube Studio project. We're just gonna do cd YouTube Studio, and then let's just clear these things. No, then we are in the project, and when you are in the project, what you can do is you can just do npm dev, and then actually let's do with pnp dev. I thought if you use npm, it's npm run dev. So maybe we do that because yeah, npm run dev. So that's pretty much doing the same thing. So we're just gonna do that. We copy paste that. Now you can go to any browser, whatever browser you want. We open a new tab, paste this here, and here we are. Our Next.js is already running. So what we're gonna do now is we open this one with cursor. In this case, you can use also any kind of editor. You can even use a text editor if you want. But I hardly recommend you to use like a tool like VS Code or like something which is more powerful. I paste you all the links in the description below, so then you can choose whatever you want to choose. So what we're just gonna do, project here, so I will just open this one. And then you can see the chat we don't need. I will just make it a little bit bigger so you can easily read everything. And yes, okay, that's basically pretty much the setup we need for now. So let's see what we got. We have already the base project set up. So let's add a nice check here. This is what we already did. Make it some bigger. Okay, so now let's get the Gemini API key. You can use whatever API key you want. You can use ChatGPT, like GPT API key. You can use a Claude for an Anthropic, whatever key you want. But here we just gonna use a key from a Gemini project. So what you're going to do is you Google Studio Gemini API key. You're just going to press enter. And then basically here you are already. Then you just have to go to Google LA Studio. Yes, I accept all things. And then you have here this thing where it says get API key. So we don't have an API key, so I'm just going to create one. And it takes a little while. And here is your API key. And what we're going to do is with this API key, don't worry, I will just revert this API key after I recorded this video, so you will not be able to use it. Okay, so let's see what we want to do. So here in Cursor, we have to create a new file, which we call .nv. And here we copy Gemini API key equals, and then we just paste our API key. That's pretty much everything what we need for now. So we can add a little other check here. Check. Nice, nice. Good. As these two steps are done, I will give you a short introduction into product requirements, which I prepared here because this is very important for actually when you work with large language models and if you do wipe coding. So very, very short, what is wipe coding? Basically, you don't write any code, you use natural language like English for writing your code by communicating with the LLM. That's basically wipe coding. So if I will use this word some more time, and then for you, just important that to know that this is actually what I mean. So what I created here is basically a document which has all the information what we want to do. I already mentioned that we want to create a YouTube title generator. So we have here the base purpose. About this formattation, don't worry too much. You can just use it like normal language. But if you use Markdown format, this is Markdown format, the LLM tends to understand a little better because it understands very well the Markdown structure. So what we want to do is generate 5 high converting YouTube titles, variations from a video descriptions, applying proven viral formulas and psychology triggers to maximize click-through rates. So what are the requirements? The title should be 55 to 70 characters long, which are mobile optimized. Actually, this is quite long, so I think I will change a little bit. By the way, all of these I will share in the link below, so you can just copy paste this prompt and then use it for your own project. So what I want is here, I think I wanted like 55 or less characters. Structure, front-end load in first 5 words, front-end keywords in first 5 words, yeah. We want emotional triggers, like curiosity, urgency, value transformation, and what we want to achieve is a click-through rate of 4 to 8%. Then we have like some more information because we want these curiosity gap, basically those things which we mentioned above. We want to include some power words, which are like secret, hidden, don't, best, simple, things like that. And well, for the audience context, it's basically for YouTubers seeking viral growth, ranging from beginners, blah, blah, blah. So some things that are important. We want 5 distinct title variations. So we don't want that it only gives us one title, it should give us several titles because we want to choose. One thing that I noticed, which is important when you work with LLMs, they are very, very good to give you inspiration. But you still should think yourself because they tend to be like very generic. And best is like if you get stuck or if you need ideas, use the LLM like we're gonna do now with this tool. So then each of those buttons shall have a copy paste icon because we want to easily copy paste it and use it. And the user should be able to regenerate new ones. Exactly. So then we want a default video description because we just want to press the button and not just type all of these things. And then we added like some, I think this I will remove for now. So this we don't want. And yeah, this is important too. Actually, when you're kind of building a website, which is, in my opinion, the easiest way to build like an app, you can also make it mobile optimize it so everyone can use it. You don't need an app like in the App Store or like for Apple and Android. Then I highly recommend you to always use Next.js in combination with Tailwind. And what we want, it should also create us an example environment file to see how we actually use the project, which I will show you soon. And yeah, that's basically it. Those are the instructions for our little tool. So if you apply any changes here, those changes will be then applied for your tool you create. So if you don't want 55 characters, if you want like 100 characters, just change the number and then here you go. If you don't want 5 variations, just change the number and you get like 10. Good. Then we also have a planning prompt, which is here, which I will not go into details so much right now. It's basically, yeah, telling, you can just copy paste it, I would say. If you really want to understand it, make a comment and then I will just explain you how it works maybe in the next video. So basically the idea is it gives like a clear structure with the LLM shall follow, should separate everything in 3 to 5 steps and create like a recent state MD file and plan MD file, which contains the whole plan and it always checks where it is. So what we're gonna do now is, yeah, we go back here. I think we can do a little check here. Check. And now the intro to Claude Code. We will do that very briefly. Of course, I'll add you the link to Claude Code also in the cursor, in the description below. And yeah, how you actually do that. So what you have, what I like to do, I have like 2 tabs in my command line tool, or you can run it in cursor directly too, for example, or in VS Code. And then here we have to also navigate to GT Studio. And then the only thing what you have to do after you installed a Claude Code, which is very easy and straightforward to install. And if you get stuck in the installation of Claude Code because maybe you don't have Node.js, no problem. You can always ask your preferred LLM like Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, and they will guide you through the process. So what we're gonna do is we just run here Claude. So we're gonna get started. And then, yeah, basically that's already the setup. If it asks you, if you open it, if it asks you some questions, you can just say like trust the project and okay, let's go, basically. So here we now have to enter our prompt. So that's what we're gonna do. So first is we copy all of this. Zack. And then we're gonna copy all of this, which are the instructions. And then we just press enter. And now Claude Code is finagling. Finagling is a very important state of vibe coding an LLM is doing when writing code. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Claude Code likes these words, so you will every time get like different words. So one thing in this project, Claude Code is kind of set up already. So it's just creating things for me. Usually it's ask you like here if it should do something. So what it's now going to do is creating the directory. Here I recommend you actually to do those. I mean, you can have always two options. You can say just yes, then if it's creating a folder, it will ask you the next time again. Here, if you press that, it will not ask you again and it's just doing it. So for folder creation, I recommend you to keep it like that, like option 1, because you want to have some control over it. If you don't care what is happening in your file structure, you can just go with option 2. If you're not happy with Cloud Code is suggesting, you can just say no and suggest something else. So now we're just gonna go with 1 and let it create this folder. Good. Now it is puzzling, creating our puzzle. So right now, yeah, what you can see, okay, it's asking you if the plan is fine. Yeah, I think usually what I like to do is I read kind of, not really the whole thing, but like checking some specific parts of the plan. But in this case, it's just like a quick demo. We will just say, okay, we are fine with the plan, just create it. So now it will actually create our plan here. It created the README folder, and here we have our plan, which it will then follow through. So let's see. Now it wants to install Lucid React for icon and utility classes. I think I don't want that. I want that it's keep it simple. Or actually, yeah, why not? Let's make it look nice. So usually when you do very basic, you want a website, you don't need crazy packages. Usually everything comes together with Next.js already. If you want things nice, then you need some packages. So in this case, Lucid React CLX. Let's do that. Let's install it. So Cloud Code also installs some packages for you. Here too, don't use option 2. Always keep option 1 because we don't want to random packages. If you don't know what this package does, even if it's telling you what to do, you can just put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what does it do? Is there a better option? Is there a most simple option? Something like that. So we just go for yes. And it will installing it. It is incubating. Those people really have been creative. Now it's creating us the end example file, which is very important. I'll show you in a second. Because this is very important for what? For how to use how to use APIs. In this case, the Gemini API, which is like our call for the LLM, is an API. And to access this in a safe way, we need this environment variable. So we have it here. So here it's important. Let me see. We don't have the Gemini API key here yet. So those actually you can ignore. So now I think it's the case. I would tell it, no, don't proceed yet. Add the Gemini API key to the .env example. Because we have to know the exact way how to put it there. So now it's doing that. Should appear here shortly. No? Okay. To edit this file, yes, just do it. So here we have the Gemini API key. So this has to be exactly the same as this one here. So we just copy paste it again, just to be sure. Because if this is different, but probably the app will probably warn you that the API key is not available. So if you misspell here, it will not find the API key, so it cannot call the LLM. Good. Perfect. let's continue. So now we continue with our plan. Actually, what is very nice about Cloud Code, it does create a little plan itself. So now it's just doing make dir. Yes, we want our components. That's very important. Because one thing which is very nice, actually you don't need to know how to code, but you kind of learn some basics about coding when you do it actually, which is very interesting. So you can like create and learn at the same time, which is very nice. So yes, I want to do that. And yes, so now it is creating our little app. I think right now we cannot see any difference yet, I would say. No, still looks exactly the same. So yeah, I think I go a little bit more in the YOLO mode. So it can just create those files. I now trust it to create files. Creating files is usually fine. With folders, I would be a little bit more suspicious. But now it's like moving, it keeps everything doing in our environment. So I think you can always do that. So let's see what is, oh, now it's frolicking. Very nice. We are getting deeper into the AI production phase. So now it's creating us it's still creating us the main UI components. And then it will update our page DSX, and then I think we should be quite done already. And then we can test our little app. So we are still in the frolicking. It's creating us the title card. I think nothing changed so far. Nothing changed. So we are almost there with our first little app, which we can test and use. And as said, the very nice thing with vibe coding is only with natural language you can change whatever you want. You can kind of create whatever you want. You just need a clear plan. Because if your plan is not clear, don't expect good results. You always need first a clear understanding what you want, and then you tell the LLM to do it, and then you would get good results. And then you adjust, iterate, improve. So now it's changing our layout, so we are getting to the end, I think. Say creating many files. So here now we have the source folder, for example. We have like some components. We have some lib files and things like that. So let's actually go to the README. So right now, test application functionality. So here we are. We have an okay design, I would say. But I mean, design now is not the focus. We will just check if it works. So one important tip, if you have already a clear design idea, you can just, on a paper, you can just like make a script, like draw it on a paper, what you actually want, how you want it to look like, give it the picture too, and then you will get it. So, generating. Why change your tested and complete morning secrets. Urgent, try this routine method. Okay, so we have here some titles, which are quite short, I would say. So actually, and we have a regenerate button, which we probably don't need. We can just like generate here again. Yeah, so I think it has some problem with the length of the titles, which are quite short. I think I want to change that. So let's make the titles a little longer. Yes, I don't know. No. It's working well, but I am not so happy with the title length. Change it to, let's say 55 to 70 characters. Because one thing with LLM, they are not that good actually at counting. Here the counting we see is like programmatically, so it is exact. But if you say it in the prompt, usually it's not that clear. So now it's changing actually the length of the prompt. And we're gonna see if that is, yeah, then we're gonna see if our results improve. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's changed that. So let's generate the titles. And here are the titles. Yeah, they're still quite short, but okay. I mean, let's just check if it's actually respecting our input. I want to make a video about traveling to Brazil, most nice places. Just check if it's the video exposes nobody talks about. Traveling, complete life increase. Okay, so actually, but what I want to see now is actually the prompt. So let's see. Show. Well, actually, we can do that differently. Here we probably have app and then components. Wait, is it actually using the Gemini API endpoint? It's not using the Gemini API endpoint. You should use the Gemini API to generate the titles. So actually, yeah, that was my mistake. I did not include that in the instructions, basically in my PRD. I did not include that. So let's do that. Let's fix that. So Gemini API chat. So we're gonna check out how they actually do that. So they do it like that. And actually what we want is a structured output. So let's do it like this. And now let's keep it simple. For now, we just keep it simple. So what we need is, we have JavaScript, so we need this kind of snippet. So we want it, you should use the Gemini app to generate the titles. Here is how it looks like. Here's how to use it. So we add it here. And now it's actually going to use real LLM calls. So we need to install it. Yes, we want to install it. Crunching. So actually a better way how I should have done it, I should ask it, are you using the Gemini API key? Then it's telling me, no, I'm not using it. Then it's asking me, shall I use it? Then I say yes, and so on. So if you're not sure about something, because why I got suspicious? Because it was generating those titles very, very fast, and they look very generic. So this is not what we want. We want like really titles generated by the LLM. Let's see if the copy paste is working. Nice animation. Yes, it's working perfectly. So let's see, it's doing, so now it's like creating me this. Okay. I'm not sure if this will work, because usually you need you have to use the backend with the API. But okay, let's see how it's going. So one important tip, usually want to include those kind of instructions in your instruction document, which I did not do, which was my bad. So sometimes I tested this already, it was working. This time it did not work, but now you learn how to fix these kind of things, which is pretty cool. So it's crunching again. It probably created some new files. This we don't need anymore. So, yeah, now it's using actually an API endpoint, which is very good. It's using the Gemini API. And now it's actually using an API endpoint, which is very good. It's using the Gemini API. It's using the Gemini API. Ooh, here we don't have the prompt, but it's totally fine. So, okay, now it's using the Gemini API endpoint. Let's see, we just refresh the page, regenerate the titles. Now it's taking considerably more time. And we hopefully get our results very soon. And here we are. So, these titles are a lot better. They are between 60 and 70. So I think we could go now back to like below 55 characters, which we don't want because the video is already getting quite long. So yes, I think that's it. What I'm going to do for today. Feel free, if you're at this point, feel free to experiment with the tool. You can add whatever you want. We just use the chat. And let me know in the comments if it worked, if it didn't work. And if it did not work, I will see that I help you out. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give me a like and subscribe. And I see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.